Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I. Oh, so do apologize. My microphone. I have various different microphones on this thing, so some of them don't work apparently. Okay, so hey, hello. Welcome everyone. You're tuning in. If you're checking in right now, this is Beginner Emotions for Dummies with Dr. Donnie. I'm Dr. Donnie. And I always like to start class by just having everybody kind of relax. And, I just like to ask, how are you feeling today? And someone just asked me, so I'll just say, how am I feeling today? I pulled something in my back a few days ago. And so I have been healing through back pain. It's like maybe the 5th time in my life something in my back has kind of popped. So now on the 5th time around, I kind of, taking it real seriously and taking real good care, self-care, good back self-care today. That's where I'm at today. So how's everybody else doing? And you're free to speak or type or channel it through radio waves through your brain, whatever works for you. Just let me know how's everybody else feeling today. Today's class, just so you know, is about it's meditation. We're gonna combine emotions and meditation today. So we're probably not gonna do a whole lot of talking today. Just a lot of feeling into things. So yeah. So if you want to tell me how you're feeling, let's do that now. I'm doing good on the self-care journey as well. Well, hey, well, do tell. I'm all ears. Please let us know. Let us know. Speak the good word. Speak the good word. I mean, the more tips we can get, the better. Self-care, the worst thing about self-care is the moment we need it is when it's the hardest to practice. Like that week school starts. that week you can't make the rent, That week you're losing your mind. That's the week you need the best self-care, and it's the hardest to practice. So, hey, it's a good thing I'm having back pain, because it's a good opportunity on the first week of school, it's a good opportunity to practice self-care. Meditation, journal, self-pleasure. Ooh, that sounds sexy. Being intimate and vulnerable with self. Well, I appreciate that description. And I like how the words intimate and vulnerable. I like how that's intertwined there. That's good. Being intimate and vulnerable, those two things are so interwoven. Loving yourself, right? It's all about being intimate and vulnerable. Thank you for those words. Thank you for that. And anyone else coming, hello and welcome. As always, tell me how you're feeling today. I'm just gonna make space to just make space to take in how are people feeling. Hey, this back pain was, I wouldn't have seen it that way until you said those words. But I'm learning how to be intimate and vulnerable with myself, dealing with this back pain. Especially when I decided I was going to be kind to myself, not going to push through it, I'm going to really listen to what I'm feeling. Right on. And the nice thing about those things is that it's all about your state of mind. Your state of mind. You could be having the outside circumstance could be whatever it is. Maybe you're fine or you break your leg. But if your state of mind is all about being intimate and vulnerable with yourself, if your state of mind is always about being intimate and vulnerable with yourself, you're always giving yourself the love you need. Giving yourself the love you need. Hmm. So, anyone else? How are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? You're more than welcome to speak or type. And you're more than welcome to not respond also. I mean, it's a request, not a demand. And it's open. It's just space. It's just space. It's just space so we can recognize that your feelings matter. And that's the whole point of this, is getting in touch with our feelings. And your feelings matter. So it's just to make a non-judgmental space for those feelings. Okay, well, I'll talk a little bit about myself. My name's Dr. Donnie, and I'm actually you like that? Oh, that's wonderful. My name's Dr. Donnie, and I am a sociology professor at CSU East Bay in Hayward. I just got tenure, actually, so I'm a tenured college professor. Woot, woot, woot. And in the course of the last so many years, my research has moved into what's called social emotional learning. And I have, it got into that, it got into youth development, and then some personal things happened in my own life, family issues, and then I had to learn how to heal. And so I put together a whole workbook called The Book of You. And from that workbook, I am putting together these classes called Emotions for Dummies to help people get in touch with their thoughts and feelings. I have a 1-month beginner Emotions for Dummies, a 2-month regular class, and then a 1-month advanced class. And if you come to the advanced class, if you make it all the way to the advanced class, I will just give you the whole workbook, the whole Book of You workbook. But for these classes, I have put together a special selection from the workbook that I'm going to share with all of you now for our beginner. Because, this class is built on the idea of you could show up here and you're like, feelings? What's feelings? I don't know anything about feelings. And can I get you from that state to this is a feeling? I don't know what it is, but I know at least a process for dealing with it that I know will really help. Okay. Okay, so here is the link to the workbook, and I'm going to share my screen. And if anybody has anything to say, address, bring up at any point in time, feel free to type it in the chat here so I can address it. And however everyone is feeling today, wherever you are in your self-care journey, you're not alone. Just know you are not alone. Just know that, and actually just taking the words, things we were talking about earlier, just know that if you make space to honor what it is you are feeling, you are not alone. If you honor what it is you are feeling, you're learning how to have you. And what a beautiful thing that is. Sorry. I'm walking with a cane because I have back problems. I had to say, oh, that's another self-care thing right there, is I just said screw it and got a cane. Does it make me look like an old man? Yes, it does. And it was very kind to myself to use a cane this week. Very kind. So, self-care. Self-care. Self-care.
Yes. It's not as complicated as that.
Hello. So just note I'm hearing a microphone there. Okay. I'm also doing a little extra policing this particular class because I had like some spammy people who showed up last class for the first time ever, and it was it's rather interesting how that happened, how that went down. Okay, so you can see from this table of contents here, I'm hoping I helped those spammy people because they sat for a while and listened to a lot of things. So, so I hope they got some help for their feelings. They sounded like they really needed it anyway. So, okay, so if you look at this table of contents, we have 4 weeks of material this month, and we went through a self-care plan and a list of emotions. That was 2 weeks ago. And then we had a intro into mindfulness meditation in case you had never meditated before. We had an intro last week and an exercise on how to tell yourself the truth. Okay, so you're welcome to go back and do those, and please practice. This week is what's called emotional vipassana, or meditating on emotions, and the body scan meditation. So we're going to have a full span of time meditating today. Okay, so let's see. So if meditation's not really your thing, I just want to say a few words about meditation. You know, sitting in silence and getting in touch with our feelings is not easy. It's just not easy at all. We live in a world where, you know, we're just taught to constantly move, do, go, act, you know, constant movement. So spend, you know, consume. So stillness can be a very hard thing to cultivate. And you know, we live in a world where we're on computers all the time, videos everywhere, phones are computers, and so yeah, you know, it can be really hard to just take in stillness and silence. Let's just I just want to honor the reality of that, you know. Most of human history, human beings did not live in a world full of things buzzing around, except for, you know, flies. Flies were the only thing buzzing around, flies and birds, you know. So in that world, the brain had a lot more chances to rest. Whereas in this world we live in today, your brain may not have much of a chance to rest. You know, I can even say I have so many things going on sometimes. You know, I mean, I'm sure I'm not alone here, but, you know, I get to the end of the day and I really just want to you know, get a couple of strong drinks in and kind of like pass out so I can just go to sleep so I can wake up tomorrow because I know I got other things to do, you know. Or sometimes I don't sleep well at all, or I stay up all night with the TV on because I finally had some time to relax, but then I never turn the TV off. I have all kinds of unhealthy habits for dealing with some of my feelings, right? We all do. So this what I'm saying here is feelings are hard. Feelings would be hard even if we were living in the past, you know. Feelings would be hard even in simpler times, but it's extremely hard now because of all the stuff going on. And if you can't sit still, well then Lord, that makes it very, very hard, right? So I just want to honor the difficulty of that and just recognize that anytime you make time to sit with your feelings, I mean, 5 seconds, okay? 5 seconds is still 5 more seconds that you made to honor how you feel and who you are and what's real for you. 5 seconds to honor your real inside self is still progress. It's still growth. It's still healing. It's still something healthy. Okay? And if you can get to 5 seconds, you can make it to 10 seconds another time. And if you can get to 10 seconds another time, maybe 20 sometime after that, and then you never know, you know. One day you find yourself at an hour-long thing, a day-long thing, you know. There are even like week-long, month-long meditation retreats people go on, you know, where you sit in silence for a month straight, you know, and, you know, that might sound crazy to some people. I managed to go on a week-long, and the week-long was fantastic. was fantastic. It just brings up all your stuff when you're not talking anymore. Okay, so with all that, let's meditate on some feelings. Okay. Actually, let me read these words first. So, if you're feeling like reading along, feel free. And if not, you are more than welcome to relax. Well, relax whatever happens. And let these words just bypass the brain and go into your heart. You're going to spend a lot of time in the heart today. That's actually what I could have said when we started class. We're going to spend a lot of time in the heart today. Okay. And if you want to read along, feel free, but by no means you do not have to. Emotions are a fundamental part of how we develop knowledge to understand ourselves and the world. They determine the quality of our lives. Some people call emotions the guidepost of life because they teach us what our boundaries are. In fact, you could say that every day, every moment, we live in an emotional universe as it uses how we feel to guide us through life. We know this because an emotional communication is always taking place alongside any verbal or other communication. There is always what is said and what is felt. Or, as the late great Maya Angelou used to say, people may forget what you said, they may even forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Emotions are part of the deeper back brain of your limbic system, amygdala, and most importantly, the heart. The heart is actually surrounded by several neurons that control your heartbeat and your feelings. These are the parts of you that were around when you were a tiny baby and did not have a developed prefrontal cortex. As a baby, you are born completely helpless, yet highly emotionally developed. So as babies, we all struggle to deal with intense emotions, even when we can barely think or control our bodies. Oof. Thus, emotional recognition and connection is fundamental to life. This is why babies need loving touch in order to survive, and why love is a deep need for all of us. Because our brain only perceives thoughts, feelings, sensations, and images, our emotional system can only respond to our thoughts, giving them a corresponding emotional weight we perceive as reality. This means fundamentally, emotions are always the byproduct of something you are thinking. Our beliefs shape what feels real for us. I didn't believe this until I tested it out, and it appears to be true. We have a thought about something, and then we produce a feeling in relation to that thought. So we think, I hate broccoli, then we see broccoli and feel sick. Without the thought happening first, there could not be an emotional reaction. Even if you get a sudden emotional reaction like curiosity or a bad vibe, even if you are totally right about the person or situation, your reaction is still in response to the thoughts you had, even if the thoughts were unconscious. Some of our most powerful emotional reactions are from our unconscious thoughts. And I should just say, research has shown 80% of the human brain is unconscious. Only 20% is conscious. The other 80% is unconscious. Okay? We produce a feeling so that we are prompted into action, like saying, I won't eat it, or running away. Since feelings determine our quality of life, it's always think, feel, act, have. Think, feel, act, have. Many of us, and especially if you were born male, are taught not to feel in our society. All of us on some level have been taught to suppress, deny, or evade emotions because they are inconvenient, too difficult, or secondary to our other life responsibilities. When we don't feel our emotions, they build up under the surface or hide behind walls, meaning a little on top can mean a lot underneath. Since our feelings are our connection to our true self, not listening to your feelings is a kind of self-abandonment. Well, it's not even a kind. Not listening to your feelings is self-abandonment. Your own feelings may not trust you and go into denial or develop secondary emotions to cover up the emotions you can't handle, like getting angry when you are hurt or afraid when you are vulnerable. You may also become extremely judgmental, feel numb all the time, develop addictions, or pursue unhealthy relationships. Becoming an adult involves taking responsibility for yourself, being financially independent, making your own mistakes, letting go of other people's responsibilities, and taking responsibility for our own feelings. If you have been through anything traumatic or your boundaries were ever majorly violated, your emotional guidance system can go haywire. Trauma disrupts how the two parts of your brain interact and can lead to hyperarousal, obsessive thinking, and memory emotional flashbacks that can severely disrupt your sense of reality. You may be extra sensitive to others' emotions, like an empath or a rescuer, or identify with an emotion, like an angry person or a victimized person. Abuse, emotional boundary violations, can teach us to accept self-boundaries that leave us hurt, afraid, codependent, helpless, or empty. If we were not taught how to deal with our feelings, then this damage can lay underneath any kind of healthy boundaries we use to build our adult lives. Emotions all come from the same place. It's not like some come from the heart and some come from your butt. So, when you block yourself from feeling an emotion, like something sad or traumatic, you block yourself from feeling all your other emotions too. Instead of judging our emotions as good, bad, right, wrong, it may be better to see our emotions as an infinite palette of different colors, and each experience of our emotional universe brings us closer to a full painting of life. Or, we have to feel all our feels so that we can heal. Since feelings come from thoughts and thoughts are not real, we can question if any feeling is real as well. In Buddhism, sitting with our feelings, whatever they are, without trying to fight, change, or deny them, is called the practice of equanimity. For example, if I feel angry but couldn't call it anger, it might be called hurt. If I couldn't call it hurt, it might be fear. If I kept digging like this, it would become stuck, then uncomfortable, just a feeling I don't like, a feeling, just what is, then nothingness. This works great, however, this old school approach leads many spiritual people to detach from thoughts and feelings as a way to avoid or invalidate others, which is called spiritual bypassing. If the majority of our thoughts are negative, or if we have been through abuse or trauma, just sitting in silence can trigger you. Since feelings come from the heart, not the brain, we can stop using thoughts to analyze our feelings and instead bring them into our heart and process them directly through our body. This is called emotional meditation or emotional vipassana. Our emotional universe works generally in terms of negative and positive. So, while there are many emotions, all emotions have their opposite. Feeling through the emotion and its opposite can retrain your emotional guidance system by breaking up old or distorted thought feeling patterns. Simply building our capacity to feel can greatly help us to take responsibility for our lives and give us space to love ourselves. Okay, so no one mentioned exactly a word. Oh well, we got a word. Doing good. Doing good. We had doing good. Doing good. Let's go with that one. Doing good. Doing good. Doing good. Doing good. What comes up for you? What comes up for you when you think doing good? If you're not doing good right now, if you're not feeling that, imagine a situation where you would say you're doing good. Maybe hey, maybe it's the first of the month and all the bills are getting paid, and you know, you have extra money for the month left over to spend on yourself, and someone asks you how you're doing, and you go, "Hey, well, I'm doing good, doing good." A situation where I would say I'm doing well, maybe you're heading back to work again after the pandemic. It's been a year of no one being around, and now you're finally going back into the office and reconnecting with people. Maybe there's a much longer answer you could give, but nothing's really wrong right now in your world. So when someone asks you, how are you doing? You say, yeah, doing good, doing good. Hey, maybe you had a breakthrough. Maybe you had some emotional breakthrough that happened recently, a really good conversation with someone, a really good realization about yourself. You know, maybe you practiced some great self-care, right? You really got in touch with something important. You're kind of happy-go-lucky in a good place, and then someone asks you how you're doing, and you say, "Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good." Whatever came up for you, whatever came up for you, just let yourself feel this feeling. Doing good. Scan your body. What head to toe, your neck. What comes up for me, I'm blessed and healthy. Oh, that's wonderful. Hey, that's wonderful. Scan your body. Let's move into your body. Where do you feel these things in your body? Doing good. Doing good. Maybe a lightness in your shoulders. Doing good. I felt my eyebrows lifting. Thoughts about being blessed and healthy come up. Thoughts for me about, I'm lucky, or I'm lucky this time. The thought, I'm lucky this time, keeps coming up for me. So I'm just going to honor that. I'm just going to honor. I'm going to honor that that's what came up. Doing good. Yeah, I feel a lot of stuff moving in my head, upper area, not so much in my legs or my torso. Interesting. And whatever you feel, bring that feeling into your heart. If you were feeling thoughts about being blessed and happy, bring that energy from the brain into the heart. If you want, you're more than welcome to put your hand on your heart as well, just so you know it's still there. And feel yourself move the energy down from the brain into the heart. What does doing good feel like in your heart? This is doing good for you. Okay. Now let's try pause for a second. Pause for a second. Pop out of it a little bit and ask yourself, what is the opposite of doing good? What would your opposite be? Pick an opposite that works for you. So, some people would say the opposite of doing good might just be doing bad. But, your opposite might be, the opposite of doing good might be unhealthy, for example. The opposite of doing good might be embarrassed. Who knows? Okay, so whatever your opposite would be for doing good, for me, I want to, let's go with unhealthy. I like that. Whatever it is for you, let yourself feel it. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling, and I'm sure it's a feeling you've felt before in your life. I've been unhealthy. I ate 3 donuts today. 3.5 donuts today. Unhealthy. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel it. Yesterday, I dealt with my back pain by eating French fries. I mean, I don't know. I suppose I could have taken some aspirin, but French fries are what I needed yesterday. So there you go. Unhealthy. Let yourself feel it. Doing bad. Let yourself feel it. Scan your body. Where do you feel that? I immediately felt things in my stomach, like my gut, my intestines. I feel like my sinuses. I feel like my sinuses clogging up. Unhealthy. Unhealthy. And I'm suddenly taking notice of my posture. I'm recognizing how tired I feel. Interesting. Oh, this is good. Whatever came up for you, we're giving ourselves a lot of compassion and love here. Let that feeling, open up to that feeling, and let it just flow into your heart. Let it flow into your heart. At times in life where we feel like we're doing bad and we're unhealthy, those are the times we need our heart the most. Slow it down. Just bring it into your heart. Give yourself some compassion. Okay, and then take a moment and go back to the previous feeling of doing good. And just notice the range in between those two feelings. The range, that is the range of your whole emotional universe. Okay, let's give ourselves some validation for feeling that. So these are some words you can say to yourself. Come up with your own. Here's a guide. I love myself, whether I'm doing good or I'm doing bad. I can be here for me, whether I am doing good or unhealthy. I have every right to feel the way I feel about doing good. I have every right to feel the way I feel about being unhealthy. Anyone who went through what I went through would feel that way. I don't totally understand why I feel the way I feel about being unhealthy, and I don't need to. I can give it time and space and rest. I'm willing to sit with my feelings about doing good. I'm willing to sit with my feelings about unhealthiness because my feelings matter to me. My feelings matter to me. And I let go. I let go of doing good. I let go of doing bad. I let go of everything because love is letting go. Okay. Okay, so you see how that works? It's a whole cycle of feeling through one thing, finding the opposite one, feeling through that, and then giving yourself some validation for having feelings. Okay, and this opens up all sorts of spaces to re-examine what's going on in our brain. Let's try one more. Let's try one more. Does anybody have a feeling? Maybe something you're having a hard time with, or just one that's coming up for you right now, or you want to test one out? Does anybody want to pick a feeling of any kind? Sadness. Sadness. Wonderful. Wonderful. Sadness. 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 Sadness is a great one to practice, so that way when it really happens, you got a better idea of how to work through it. Sadness. Just let yourself feel sad. Just use this wonderful moment at 4:40. Just let yourself feel sad. If you don't feel sad in this moment, think of something. Use your imagination. Think of something that would make you feel sad. Hmm. You know, people in Afghanistan running onto the wheels of planes to get to freedom. That made me feel pretty sad. That made me feel pretty sad. I'm reading a book about the Native American genocide across this country. That made me really sad. I'm reading another book about slavery. And this book calls the racial system in America the caste system. It's a permanent caste system that black people are in a permanent lower caste situation and that white people are an automatic upper caste in America and that this goes untalked about in America, even though it's kind of the obvious case, and you can track it all through history, how the laws were put in place to kill Native Americans and enslave black people or enslave African people. And that's the history of this country. That's the history of this country. That all makes me sad. I'm looking at a puzzle right now. I got a puzzle of a map of Native America over here. Makes me sad. And that's a huge sadness, but you don't even have to go that deep with it. I ran out of potato chips also in my office, and now I have to think about going to the store when I don't feel like it, and I would rather go lay down, and that made me feel sad also. You know, sadness. Sadness is sadness. Scan your body. Scan your body. What does sadness feel like for you? Maybe it's, that conversation that's never going to happen that you wanted. Maybe it's that recognition from someone you wanted that's never going to happen. Your expectations just went crazy wrong. Sadness. Scan your body. Where do you feel sadness? I feel this sinking feeling in my heart. This it feels like an icy leak at the bottom of my heart. Sadness. I feel my brain like sort of just caving in on itself. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Sadness. Sadness. I feel my shoulders slumping down. And whatever you feel, we're not here to judge it. We're here just to notice. Get in touch. Whatever you feel, bring it into your heart. Bring that energy from the brain, wherever it is, into your heart. Give yourself a lot of compassion. We want other people to recognize our feelings so we can feel present, right? We can feel like someone cares. So this is the moment to show you care. Bring it into your heart. Okay, and pause. Pause for a moment. Pop out of it a little bit. And what is the opposite of sadness? Now, your opposite might be happiness. For someone, that might be happiness. For someone else, your opposite might be inspiration. Whatever the opposite of sadness is for you. Happiness, inspiration. Let yourself feel it. We're just practicing feelings. Sometimes I feel like this is almost like acting, Actors must have to go through things like this. They have to put on a role. We all do this as human beings. It's called emotion management. Take on feelings. So there you go. Take on feelings. Happiness. If you're not feeling happy right now, imagine a situation where you would feel happy. I'm suddenly having an image of springtime when all the grass was really green. I was running through a field. I see little flowers. Happiness. Happiness can be all sorts of things, right? So my Amazon packages, when they came in, and I finally got my puzzle glue so I can put my puzzle together. Happiness. Happiness can be so many things, Having the luxury to sleep most of today, to take care of myself, happiness. Getting a hug from my secretary, happiness. I made it to this class on time, happiness. Uh, there is food in my refrigerator, happiness. A glass of wine waiting for me when I get home, happiness. I have a home to return to, happiness. Happiness. I'm looking at my phone right now. I'm seeing there's a whole list of friends I could just hit up and say, hey, I want you to know I care about you. I think you're special. Thank you for being in my life. There's a whole list of people I could say that to. Happiness. 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 And if you can't think of, because you could be in a rough place in your life, and if you are, and you can't think of anything to be happy about, this is the moment to make it up. Someone knocks on your door and they come with the check for $1 million, and they say it's you, Ed McMahon. He's probably not alive anymore. Or the Publishers Clearinghouse $1 million people, or the lottery. They show up to your house with the check for the million. You open the door, you see it's you. What do you feel? If that's not your idea of happiness, whatever it is, your favorite pie, maybe suddenly tickets to your favorite musician show up in your hands, whatever happiness is for you, let yourself feel it. Really let yourself feel it. Scan your whole body. Happiness makes my eyebrows lift. They say happiness is the best facelift. Happiness just makes your cheeks spread open. That's funny. Happiness just makes your shoulders broaden. I can feel my heart just widening. Just bring all that energy into your heart. All that happiness into your heart. Yeah, I feel myself lifted. My rib cage is lifting up. Happiness. It's funny because I said my refrigerator is full of food. I actually need to go to the grocery store. I haven't been. I needed to go 2 days ago, but I have back pain, so I don't really feel like doing that. Although I guess I could just, do some kind of delivery kind of thing. I guess I could do that. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm talking this through right now. See, I was being hard on myself because I kept telling myself I have to go to the grocery store, but I don't want to do it. So I've been complaining about that refrigerator. But in this moment, I realized I have food to eat at all. What a gift. There's somebody out there in the world who doesn't. There's somebody in Haiti right now who doesn't have a home, and they're sleeping they're sleeping outside during a hurricane. Man, that's just crazy. Poor Haiti. I feel for Haiti in so many ways. Okay, so by comparison, I am like living a life of great pleasure, great ease, happiness, happiness, happiness. Let yourself feel it, happiness. Okay, and let yourself pop out of that a little bit and go back to the sadness. Go back to sadness. and see the range between those two feelings. Just see the range between happiness and sadness, the range of your whole emotional universe. Now let's give ourselves some validation statements. I love myself whether I am sad or happy. I can be here for myself whether I am sad or happy. My feelings about sadness and happiness matter because my feelings matter to me. I have every right to feel the way I feel about sadness. Anyone who went through what I went through would totally feel that way. I have every right to feel the way I feel about happiness. Anyone who's going through what I'm going through would feel that way. I don't totally understand how I feel right now about sadness and happiness, and I don't need to. I can give it time and space and rest and compassion and more time and more compassion. And I let go of sadness. I let go of happiness. I let go of everything because love is letting go. Wonderful, wonderful. So if you ever want to take this deeper, you can always ask yourself these other questions like, when did you first ever feel this feeling as a child? You know, finding something good about the negative emotion and something bad about the positive emotion. So we did sadness and happiness. What's something good about sadness? You know, sadness allows you to grieve. Sadness allows you to get out difficult feelings. Sadness teaches you what's important to you in life. Teaches you the importance of keeping your joy. Right on. And then what's a bad thing about happiness? What's a bad thing about happiness? You might not pay attention to other people's needs and feelings because you're always just kind of not a very deep probing person because you're always just la 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 happy. Superficial, that would be the word for that. There you go, superficial. You might be really superficial if you're happy all the time. People who are just happy all the time, that shit's not real. I mean, unless you're the Buddha, but not even the Buddha was happy all the time. He was at peace. People who are just happy all the time, that usually means they're hiding their real feelings. A human being has a whole emotional landscape. You can't just be happy all the time. Yeah, so if you're happy all the time, you're likely hiding. Happy can mean hiding. That's a bad thing about being happy. Also, I would say when I am really happy, the moment something difficult shows up, I'm thinking of every kind of way I can minimize it, avoid it, so I can keep on being happy instead of actually dealing with what's coming up right now in my life. And that's a bad thing too. Right on. And then the other thing you could do is further use your imagination to describe or talk to the feeling and then respond to what it needs, like letting an emotional wall fall down or explode, or fully playing through a repeating scene in your mind. So, I could say sadness, sadness, I know you are there. I know you are here. I am here with you. Please tell me, what do you need? What do you need to be happy, to feel love, for connection? What do you need, sadness? And then see if anything pops up. If an image pops up, like I'm suddenly seeing trees, I'm seeing a forest. Okay, I'm walking through the forest. What do you need, sadness? What do you need? Okay, I've got Robin Hood. Okay, I've got Robin Hood next to me. Okay, I'm gonna hold hands with Robin Hood. We're walking through the forest. Okay, okay. What do you need? What do you need? Well, I'm not sad anymore. Well, that's funny. Okay, that was weird, but there you go. There you go. There you go. Me and Robin Hood holding hands. I'm not sad anymore. Okay. Okay, so yes, that's another thing you can do. It's listen to the emotion and ask, what do you need, and follow it through. Follow it through. Use your imagination to follow it through. Okay. And then the final thing we can do is what we're going to do for the second half of the class, which is a body scan. So why don't we pause for just 2 minutes? Actually, it's 4:57. So why don't we start again at 5? That's 3 minutes. And just take in all this information. If you have questions or anything, let me know. And then at 5, we will start the second half of class. Okay. I can get some tea. Okay, no questions? No questions from anybody? It's emotion stuff, emotions ain't easy. Emotions ain't easy. Sitting with those feelings like we just did, that's not easy stuff, When you think about it, we have so many feelings. It's nothing to just take the time to just sit and practice them. You probably wouldn't do it unless you were consciously thinking about it. But it's nothing to just say, hey, I'm having all this back pain, soreness. Let me just take 5 minutes of my life someday and just sit with soreness. I'm very familiar with what soreness feels like, but I've never sat with it in a real conscious, emotional exploration kind of way. Really sit with the feeling of soreness. And then what's the opposite of soreness? I'm not sure what that would be. Aliveness. How about that? Aliveness. So then to really sit with that, just so you can just see what's going on in your brain. Make space to feel. Okay, so the second half is this body scan. So we're going to take this, believe it or not, even deeper by getting more in touch with our body. Okay. And this is also nice because we get to have a discussion around boundaries as well, which is something that a lot of us need to think about, need to work on our boundaries. So important. Okay. So this comes from the book Bessel van der Kolk's The Body Keeps the Score. So in case you've never read that book, it's a good 300-page book about how the body works with trauma, which I neatly summarized into this 2 pages here. So you're very welcome. You don't ever have to read it. Also, listening to him on YouTube is very difficult because he talks in a real garbled kind of way. So, anywho, and this also comes from the book Boundaries by Cloud and Townsend. And Psalm Isadora, Tantra, the Art of Sacred Sexuality. Psalm Isadora was a spiritual Tantra teacher who passed away about 5-6 years ago. Our feelings make up our emotional universe. But feeling is not just an emotional state, it is also our bodily sensations. I can activate the feelings in my right toe by just thinking about it. I can describe what I feel as a feeling like calm, hurt, inspired, or as a sensation, burning, soreness, tight. I can go further and describe the feeling in terms of size, movement, shape, or any other quality. I can go from my right toe all the way up to my head, taking in each body part. This is known as a body scan meditation, which comes from the school of Tantra, a philosophy that is about seeing the body as a spiritual place of energy transference. Our higher power gave us a body so we can take in and give out the energy of the universe, fulfilling our life's purpose. By doing a body scan, we can greatly examine our emotions through the brain-body connection. In terms of evolution, human beings have the same basic senses, emotions, and physical reactions as all the other mammals, like our hair stand up when afraid, or we snarl when enraged. But a larger frontal lobe, and so a greater capacity to think. However, since our brain is still 80% emotional and unconscious, our animal nature will always win out over our willpower 4 out of 5 times. Modern psychology has found that while the body cannot think, it does keep score by holding both emotional energy and memories. A frightening incident can make you lose your voice, or a pain in your back can be from years of not getting the support you needed. While your rational brain can analyze, justify, and/or dissociate from your experiences, your emotional body cannot. This is why you can't rationally talk yourself out of your feelings, or from what you really want, or who you feel you really are inside. We often use knowledge to fight our body limitations, but as animals, we will always end up compromising between our ideals and what our body can actually handle. Our body is an important part of understanding our physical and emotional boundaries. A healthy boundary is like a building with doors, or a fence with gates. Most of it strongly keeps bad things out, but part of it can deliberately let good things in. Boundaries denote ownership, or what is mine and what is yours. How our bodies were treated as babies and children shape our first emotional boundaries and what to expect from others. Since research has shown that the brain processes emotional pain in the same manner as physical pain, abuse and trauma are, by default, internal emotional boundary violations. Not feeling accepted or loved can feel like a literal stab in the heart. Oh. Our bodies remember the fear and shame of a spanking, even if our brain does not. Since the body will remember the trauma and keep reacting to it, you may lose the ability to distinguish between safety and danger, always assume danger, and then stay stuck in anger or fear. A lack of safety in our primary relationships can make us into adults who have an impaired sense of inner reality, feel places of deadness or numbness inside, gravitate toward unhealthy situations, and treat ourselves poorly by engaging in risky, self-damaging behavior, making us feel unsafe in our own bodies. Research has even found that babies who are abused can develop infant depression or constant feelings of terror that can stick with them throughout life. Long term, this can all lead to migraines, asthma, back pain, back pain, headaches, weight gain, poor sleep, and perhaps even irritable bowel syndrome. Healing our brain-body connection means recognizing and naming our physical sensations. We can move past the difficulty of words by engaging the self-observing body-based system, which speaks through sensations, tone of voice, and body tensions. We can learn to pendulate or move in and out of our body sensations. We start by establishing an inner place of safety, or a place where you can ground yourself when you feel uncomfortable, like focusing on the breath, clenching your hands and feet, tapping. This teaches us to overcome any dissociation we have with our body memories. Making friends with your body also means examining our body narratives, which is the ways we talk about our body and our body memories, and examining our feelings. Our body's feelings shift constantly. If we develop equanimity and we let ourselves fully experience the feeling, it will eventually shift into something else. It may take you back to a memory or a thought that you are holding on to that is not serving you well. Other safe ways of learning how to reconnect to your body are meditation and yoga, because these techniques calm us down and let us check in on our breath and heart rate. While every area of the body is important, there are 3 key areas to really focus on: the stomach, the heart, and the head. Our stomach has been found to hold neurons that not only control the movement of food, but also our instantaneous bodily responses to fear and safety. This is why we call it the gut brain. Our body can store memories in our gut that tell us to be careful or afraid. Our heart also has neurons that control heartbeat and regulate our emotions. Our heart brain tells us how we feel and holds happiness and sadness. And our head area, including the neck and shoulders, is where most thought happens. This is also where we store anger, frustration, and tension. Like it or not, this body is the only one you are ever going to have in this lifetime, and you have little control over what's going to happen to it. Getting in touch with how we feel about our body is the best we can do to care for ourselves in an immediate and intrinsic way, to heal our internal emotional boundary violations, and to develop wisdom that moves our lives toward a whole body experience in harmony with the universe. Okay, so it's a whole bunch of prompts, and we're just going to meditate through the whole thing. All you have to do is listen to the sound of my voice. So take a moment. We just did all that emotional meditation. Take in your whole emotional universe. Take in your whole body. Take in everything you can feel, head to toe. Take it all in. Take it all in. And bring it all to your head. Notice your brain. Notice your mind. Notice if anything's moving. If you feel a weight, a pressure of any kind. Notice your mind. Feel the weight of it. And if you're willing, I invite you to drop all of that energy down into your feet. Like just bowling ball drop, boom. All that energy in your brain, drop it down into your feet. See what you feel in your feet in this moment. You might feel tension or relaxation, big feelings or small feelings. Things might move or they may feel stuck. Whatever you are feeling, I invite you to slow it down, sink in, and let go. Sink in and let go. Give your feet some compassion, some kindness. And whatever you feel in your feet, bring that feeling into your heart. Let that feeling travel into your heart. Let it travel down into your gut, down into your gut. And then let it travel into the big muscles of your hips, thighs, lower back, your seat muscles, your behind. Give all those muscles a squeeze. And then let the feeling get big all over your body. That feeling in your feet, let it get bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, and push it away. Push it away. And whatever you felt in your feet, may it be filled with peace, understanding, and love. Next is our calves, our knees and calves. See what you feel in your knees and calves in this moment. Big parts, little parts, parts that are tired and aching, or parts that want to move and jump around. Whatever you feel in your knees and calves in this moment, I invite you to slow it down. Relax. Sink in and let go. Drop your defenses. Let yourself just flow with this energy. Bring this feeling into your heart. Let it flow into your heart. Give yourself a lot of compassion. Let it flow down into your gut. And let it flow into the muscles of your seat muscles, your hips and thighs, your behind. Give them all a squeeze. Let the feeling get big all over your body and push it away. And whatever you felt in your knees and calves, may it be filled with relaxation, peace, and compassion. Okay, next is the seat muscles, your hips, thighs, lower back, your behind muscles, all those big muscles. See what you feel in your seat muscles. You may feel pressure, or you may feel openness, tightness, or looseness. Big muscles, small little feelings. Whatever you feel in that space, if you are willing, I invite you to slow it down. Slow it down to stillness. Sink down to the bottom of these feelings and let go. Give up the fight. Let it all just uncurl, uncoil. Let yourself flow with these feelings. Flow with compassion. Flow with compassion into your heart. Into your heart. Bring it down into your gut. Then bring it down into your seat muscles and give them all a squeeze. Let the feeling get bigger and bigger all over your body. And push the feelings away. And whatever you felt in your seat muscles, may it be filled with relaxation, understanding, comfort. Next is the 3 key areas here. The first one is the gut. So if you are willing, I invite you to place your hands on your gut, whatever that means for you. What do you feel in your gut in this moment? You might feel a 6-pack or a belly spilling out over your pants. Things that are churning or nothing moving at all. Tension or relaxation, whatever you feel, I invite you to slow it down. Sink down to the bottom. Sink in and let go. Let yourself flow with the feelings. Flow with compassion. Flow. Bring all of this into your heart. Into your heart. Let it sink down into your gut. And let it sink into your seat muscles, your hips and thighs. Give them all a squeeze. Let the feeling get bigger all over your body and push it all away. Oh, oh. And whatever you felt in your gut, may it be filled with peace, harmony, fulfillment. Oh. Next is our heart. Oh, if you are willing, I invite you to place your hands on your heart. See what you feel in your heart in this moment. Oh, openness or shut down, movement or stillness. Oh, relief or tension, whatever you feel. If you are willing, I invite you to slow it down to stillness. Slow it down. Relax. Sink in and let go. Flow with these feelings. Flow with your heart. Oh, like you're on a river. Oh, just flow with your heart. Give yourself a lot of compassion. A lot of compassion. Bring that feeling even deeper into your heart. Relax even more. Sink even deeper. Bring it down into your gut. And bring that energy into your seat muscles. Give them a squeeze. Let the feeling blow up all over your body. And push that feeling away. And where you felt, where you felt that energy, may it be filled, whatever you felt in your heart, may it be filled with peace, openness, courage, inspiration, happiness. And finally, our head area, neck and shoulders as well. Neck and shoulders, the head, our face, our brain, the brain, the brain. See what you feel in your head, neck and shoulders, your brain, your face. See what you feel in this moment. You may feel tension or relaxation, hurt or pleasure. Oh man, tiredness or alertness. Whatever you feel, not here to judge. Just slow it down. Relax. Slow it down to stillness. Sink down to the bottom and let go. Flow with the energy you're feeling. Give yourself a lot of compassion. Bring it all into your heart. Then bring it all into your gut. Bring it into the big muscles of your seat muscles, your hips and thighs. Give them a squeeze. And let the feeling get really big all over your body. And push the feeling away. And whatever you felt in your head, neck and shoulders, your face, may it be filled with relaxation, peace, love, joy, support. And just take a moment and take in your whole body again, your whole emotional universe from top to bottom. And just give ourselves some thankfulness, some compassion, some gratitude for digging so deep today into our feelings, into our bodily sensations. Thank you for listening to ourselves this deeply, for showing us that we matter to us. May everyone in the world have an ability to meditate, to get in touch with themselves the way we're doing today. Okay. So before we wrap up class today, I just want to take a moment and say thank you all so much for your presence, your attention, your willingness, for your openness to share your feelings, to come to this space and work on your feelings. Please practice. No emotion is a one and done. We live in an emotional universe. It's all colors. It's all colors of a painting. All our feelings are colors of the painting. So we need all of them. So let yourself feel. Let yourself feel and get in touch. Please practice. Please practice. If anybody has anything they want to say, now would be the time to speak or type or whatever works for you. Let me know how you're feeling. Otherwise, just want to say thank you. And next week's class is on self-love. So next week we're going to take it another step deeper. We're going to do a little meditation, but it's going to be a lot more talking through and looking at what is self-love for ourselves. Okay? So if you can meditate this week, get in touch with this, and then come next week so you can learn about self-love, you'll be good to go. Good to go. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, well, I'm so happy I could share. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, please come. Please use the resources. Please practice. Please practice. I also grew up in a very hella neglectful environment. I can just tell you that by doing these exercises, it's helped me to grow by leaps and effing bounds. Okay? So please practice. Please practice. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next week. And if you're not around next week, there'll be a video, but practice one way or the other. Okay? All right. Have a wonderful night, too. You too. Take care.